Hello, hello, Coalesce family. How's it going? Welcome to my living room, and thank you so much for joining me again for Hatha Mood. We are going to move for an hour. After that, we have some other really cool stuff, so please stay tuned. Yeah, let's just get started. We're going to move for an hour, like I said, doing mainly shoulder focus and hips. So you'll probably feel really good after. But what I want to say too is even if you just come in for like 15 minutes of this class, you'll still feel really good. So even if you're like, oh, but I don't have a whole hour, I could maybe stay for the first 15. Oh, I don't know. Just stay for as long as you can. Try some of this stuff out, even if you have to come in a little bit late. Yeah. So let's just get started right away. Try to keep it to exactly an hour. We're going to begin laying down on our back. So just go ahead and get comfy laying down. I'll join you there in just a moment after I drink a sip of this hot water. Good. And then as you get comfy laying down on your back, just begin to notice your next few breaths. Something you can do here is place your hands on your stomach or your lower ribs just to feel your breathing, get used to it. Take a breath in through your nose. Try to fill up your ribs. And a big exhale. 2 more times. Take a big breath in. Fill your stomach and your ribs. Bigger exhale. And 1 more time, big breath in. Good, big breath out. You're going to start here just by hugging your knees to your chest. We'll have a really long warm up throughout this sequence. So beginners, totally friendly for beginners. If you're experienced, hopefully you just really enjoy a lot of the stretching and stuff that we do. All right, let's begin to rock side to side. Just to massage the low back. All right, and then we're gonna twist, but first just roll all the way to your right side. And then peel your left arm out to the left like a big wing. You can open your left shoulder, your chest, your left ribs even, rolling out. Good, and then just try to steady your breathing there. Awesome, and roll back through center. Hug your knees in, rock side to side. Try to center your hips. Usually once we twist, they kind of knock over to one side. Good. And then we're going to roll over to the left. And then come into your twist. Reach your right arm out like a big wing. Let that shoulder open. The right ribs open as well. Steady your breathing. Make sure you're not holding it. That does tend to happen throughout yoga classes, throughout different poses and all that stuff. Also just tends to happen regularly throughout our day. Sometimes we're in a moment of like anticipation, we're holding our breath. Maybe you've noticed that before. 1 more inhale here. Good, and then undo it as you exhale. Come back through the center, hug your knees, rock side to side. We'll do a simple little neck stretch here. So place the soles of your feet down, that way your knees are bent. Rest your knees together. And you're going to interlace your hands behind your head and your neck. Go ahead and just lift your head up. Try to lift your shoulder blades a little bit up as well. Those wing bones there on your upper back. You can move around a little bit or sway side to side, whatever you want to do. Sometimes I get a nice little crack out of my back. I don't know if you heard that, but Oh yeah, nice little crack there. Curl up for just one more breath. Might be a little hard to breathe there. Awesome, and then you're gonna slowly lower your head down. Let that go. Open the elbows wide and just pause there. And we're gonna come into a butterfly pose. Set the soles of your feet together and your knees out wide. So we have the elbows kind of mimicking the knees. If at any time your shoulders or your chest is uncomfortable, you can let go of it. But we're just trying to keep that openness in the chest. Combine it with some hips, some hip goodness. You're gonna try to breathe in and out through your nose pretty much the whole entire class, okay? But if you can't, no big deal. If you can't, try to breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth, and just like keep trying to see if it ever smooths out over the course of us doing this Hatha mood sesh. All right, we're here for one more inhale. Let it go as you exhale. Help your knees come together. Good, and then you're gonna hug behind your knees. We're gonna roll forward and back a few times. So start to make momentum by swinging your legs. You're actually also engaging your core when you do this. Pay attention to the swinging back, because maybe you can try to get your feet to the floor behind you. We'll do a few more of these rolls, okay? Make sure there's nothing behind you to crush or run into. It has happened before. Whee! All right. If you can, you're gonna linger in that roll back. Has a name, it's called halasana in Sanskrit. All right, let's roll forward, come up into a seat for a moment. We'll just really quickly review how to, I think, maybe not properly, but do it really well, how we can lengthen the spine really, really well in a way that feels good and engages your core a little bit. I always think that's important. Engage the core a little bit. You don't got to do a tough workout. But, just get to know it, become friends with all this. All right, so you're gonna bring your right hand down to your tailbone. If you don't know where it is, try to find it. It's all the way just at the bottom of your spine, probably by your butt crack a little bit, okay? You're gonna place your left hand at the crown of your head. I think it's best described as if you're wearing a crown, like that space that's exposed at the top there, okay? So reach up through the left hand and for a second, tilt the tailbone back behind you, right? Imagine you had a tail, Tilt the tailbone underneath you, like between your legs. And then let it come into neutral where it's just reaching down. Not back, not under and forward, but just straight down. Good, and then rest both of the hands on your knees. Keep the crown of the head reaching up. That can get a little tricky to find, so give yourself time to get used to it if you're new to feeling the crown of your head. Root down through your tailbone, make it just feel heavy. Take one more smooth breath. And then we're going to come into tabletop. We'll review the crown of the head and the tailbone a lot through class. All right, rest on your hands and your knees here, tabletop position. You want your wrists under your shoulders. Untuck your toes, please, so your feet are flat on the mat. You're going to round your back and come into this cat pose. Think of an angry Halloween cat. Just a few breaths there. Try to push down into your shins. Okay, try to push down into the shins. Round your upper back. Think of an exaggerated posture here. Tuck your chin as well. Okay, you're coming to a neutral spine. So the crown of the head is reaching forward, which means your eyes are looking down. Your neck is long. Reach long through the spine, all the way down through your tailbone. Good. Now we're gonna hit cow pose. So drop your belly down, lift your chest up, roll the shoulders back, and look forward, as long as it doesn't pinch your neck. Take a couple breaths here. You can always close your eyes. Sometimes that just helps to feel your body and get into your space a little bit more. All right, now you're gonna go back and forth. So cat pose, round your back. Stay for an inhale. Stay for the exhale. And then move through neutral and into cow pose. Drop the stomach, lift the chest, inhale. And switch on the exhale. Inhale, cow pose. And one more time, cat pose. Drop into cow pose, inhale. Good. Keep that position in your spine, all the way from your tailbone to the crown of your head. You're going to walk your hands a big step forward, which is probably towards the edge of your yoga mat or the edge of your space if you're not on a mat. Start to lower your armpits and your forehead down towards the floor. You want the hips up and away from your heels. So it's different than child's pose if you're used to child's pose. We will actually be there in a moment though, so you'll get to see the difference too. If at any point this becomes too much, you're going to bend your elbows out to the side, right? If you need a little bit of relief. But if you're good to go, just keep extending the arms forward and reaching through the armpits like you're trying to lower them towards the floor. Nice. One more breath in and out. Trying to breathe slowly, but not forcing it. Good. You're going to slide your hands back, all the way back until your hips come down to your heels and we're actually in child's pose now. Bring your knees a little bit closer together. And then my favorite thing is to just stack the hands and set the forehead on that little hand pillow. But you don't have to do that part. You can do whatever you want there with your arms. Basking in some lovely child's pose laziness for a moment here. One thing that yoga is really good at teaching is like being in love with opposites. Because really, even if something is the opposite of it, in some way, they have a lot of similarities. Right? Maybe just by being opposite, that's kind of their similarity. Holding those two opposites. Loving to be a little lazy. Loving to be a little strong and tough too. All right, just some brain food for you while we sit in child's pose. But let's go ahead and come out of that now. Rise up into tabletop so we don't get too tired. Woo, almost fell asleep. And then we're gonna meet in down dog. Tuck your toes, lift your knees and your hips up and back. Relax your head down. Now just take a few breaths in down dog. Getting to know it, moving your body a little bit. If it's really tight in your hamstrings, definitely want to bend your knees. And you can go between bending and straightening. Let's spend a few breaths here together. Just moving here, feeling down dog. Trying to sort it out. If you can, breathing in and out through your nose. And then slow down your movements if you're still wiggling. Good, and then start to just hold still. I recommend you bend your knees. Spread the fingers so you can activate the arms and push through your shoulders. But then just relax your neck. Let all of the neck tension go. All right, take a big breath in. Bigger breath out. Awesome. You're going to bend your knees, look forward between your hands, and then step forward all the way into a forward fold near the top of your mat. Bend your knees enough to where the hands are easily on the floor, yeah? And then just drop your head down, okay? So we're decompressing our spine here. The crown of the head is down. The tailbone is trying to point up. And that's what's allowing the spine to decompress, because usually it's the opposite. And usually gravity is like bogging down, squishing your spine down into your pelvis. I almost said your pine down into your pelvis. If you have a little pine tree in your back there. All right, yeah, I think this pose feels extra good lately. I don't know, maybe it's just because of all the collective and global anxiety from what we've been enduring this last year. Beautiful yogis, let's drop down to a squat. So you're gonna open your feet wider, turn the heels in just a little, and bend your knees a lot. Okay, come all the way down into that squat. So now your tailbone is down, the crown of the head is up. We're kind of back to normal here. Take a nice clearing breath in and out through your nose. Like a nice, slow, intentional breath. Try to reach up through the crown of the head a little bit more. You can bring your hands to your heart and then wedge your knees open. Possibly, maybe. All right, we're gonna go into a forward fold once again, but then we're gonna work our way up to standing. But I wanna give you a tip. If you ever feel dizzy when we're doing yoga, when we're going from down and then straight to up, you're gonna always come down into this squat. And if you come down into this squat, you will definitely avoid falling, getting dizzy, or feeling faint at all, okay? When you're ready, drop down into a forward fold, hands down, hips up. And then bring your hands onto your shins, so about halfway. And then lift the chest forward and up, so you're halfway lifted up. Think of an upside down L, so trying to make your body in that shape. And then bend your knees, forward fold again. And halfway lift. Inhale as you come halfway up. Good, stay there as you exhale, put a little bend in your knees and just come all the way up through standing. Roll your shoulders out and just open your chest. Good, and again, make sure you're at the top of your mat. We're gonna have some things where we step back, so you want some room behind you. Review here. Okay, let's see if we pass the test. Reach down through the tailbone. Boop. Little tiny movement in your body. And reach up through the crown of the head, which is less moving, but just more of an adjustment. Let your arms rest down so the shoulders open, the palms are facing forward. Good, we're gonna do some salutations, which is gonna get you into your breathing rhythm. So let's try it out here. You're gonna reach your arms up with an inhale. Exhale, bend your knees, forward fold, drop your head. Inhale, halfway lift. Stretch the chest forward. Push your legs away. Exhale, fold again, bend your knees. Stand all the way up. Inhale, reach up. Arms down as you exhale. Try to keep your chest open. And then let's continue. Inhale, reach the arms, exaggerate your length. Exhale, bend your knees, fold. Inhale, half lift. Try to engage the core by reaching the crown of the head forward, tailbone back. Fold again. Exhale all your breath out. Inhale, up to standing, reach up. Arms down as you exhale, and your tailbone goes down with your arms. Okay, let's move on. Add a little bit. Inhale as you reach up. Exhale as you forward fold. Bend the knees on your way down. Even if you can straighten your legs, it's just nice to do. Inhale, halfway lift. That's where I usually straighten my legs. Good, as you exhale, you're gonna fold. Plant your hands down and step into a plank pose. So it is like a tabletop with your knees off the floor, AKA a push-up. If you ever need, boop, you just bring your knees down. And then this is where you can like challenge yourself a little bit, holding plank. Not gonna hold it for very long, just one more inhale. All right, and then everybody lower to their knees. And then bend your elbows back and come all the way down to your chest. We're gonna do a couple back bends in a row. just to get used to that feeling, but I want you to start on your forehead. Uncurl your toes. Usually they stay tucked under, at least mine do. Scoot your hands back towards the lowest ribs there in your torso. Yeah, good. All right, so you're gonna reach the crown of the head forward. I know we're going slow. You're gonna reach the tailbone back. That way you feel what lengthening is like. And then from there, you're gonna lift your head up. Lift your chest up so you're in a cobra pose, right? Just like a snake. Take a breath in. Exhale, come down to your forehead. We will do that again. First, I want you to lengthen. Crown of that forward, tailbone back. And then lift up. Head and chest peel away from the floor. Remember how strong snakes have to be to move their whole body. Without any legs, without any arms. That's what you feel like here. Good. Lower all the way down to your forehead. Take a giant breath in and out. All right, one more cobra. Reach forward, tailbone back, and then lift up. So there's always that lengthening thing happening first. Feel like a really strong snake, right? Like you could move across the floor with your strong muscles or not. All right, let's come on down, forehead to the floor. Take a moment and a full breath. Awesome. You're going to push yourself up into tabletop, hands and knees. And then right into down dog. Tuck your toes, lift the hips up. You get to stay in down dog for a whole breath there. And then bend your knees, look forward, inhale. Exhale, step your feet to the front of your mat and then fold, head down, arms relaxed. Do a half lift on your next inhale, yogis. Exhale, fold again, bend the knees, keep it soft here. We got plenty of time to bust open the hamstrings. Awesome, with an inhale, reach up, stand up. With an exhale, arms down. All right, we're gonna move into this portion where we're doing a lot more standing poses. Yay! Then at the end, we just get to lay down again and chill. Like, so we're kind of, we prep. I can talk, I promise. We prep, we flow, show our strength, then we just pay it all off with big deep stretches that should hopefully even you out completely. So let's get into it. You're gonna reach both arms up, stay there for a moment. And then grab onto your left forearm, okay? Pull it over to the right. You're in a little side bend. Sometimes it's nice to bend the knees here. Feel the even weight distributed between your feet, not leaning on one foot in particular. And then come back up through the center, let go. Grab onto your right forearm. Take an inhale breath. Exhale, pull that arm over to the left side. And you can always bend your knees. That way you're sure you're evenly distributing the weight in your feet. You're not leaning into one foot. Good, and then come back to center, reach up with an inhale. Exhale as you bend the knees, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Reach your chest forward. It almost feels like cobra pose. Good, exhale, you're gonna plant your fingertips. Step your right foot back. Pause there for a moment with your fingertips on the floor. Try to reach your chest forward. Reach the crown of the head forward. So even though the chest is lifting, the forehead is not lifting. The forehead is actually, I think, kind of pointing down. The crown of the head is reaching forward like the chest. It's just an extension of your spine. Good, you're gonna lower your back knee down to the floor and then reach the arms up in a low lunge. Here you have to engage the glutes, so try to fire them up. Take one more inhale, do a little tiny back bend. Exhale, you're gonna plant your hands down. Step into plank, left foot meets the right, and then we just hold that for an inhale. Exhale, come all the way down to the floor so we can prep ourselves. Cobra pose. You're gonna lift the head and chest. Inhale, little cobra there. Exhale, push yourself up. Come into tabletop, and then we'll meet in down dog. Don't worry if you get lost or confused. You can always look at the screen, and I'm right there doing yoga with you, so that way the visual reference. All right, yogis, you're gonna stay on your left foot, lift your right leg up and back. Now we're in a three-legged dog. Stay for one more inhale, please. And then exhale, step the right foot in between your hands. Make sure you're not on a tightrope, okay? You're on the tippy toes of your back foot, and we're gonna come all the way up into a high lunge. Do a few little standing poses here. Put a big bend in your front knee, a little bend in your back knee. You can either have your hands on the hips or reach your arms up. Whatever you're feeling today, totally up to you. Steady your breathing. Trying to breathe in and out through your nose, especially when we're doing standing poses. That's the trick that we do to the nervous system the whole time we're doing yoga. So underneath, doing some poses, doing some fun stretches, feeling good. We're actually trying to communicate to the nervous system that we're safe, we're okay. All right, let's get out of this high lunge so that we really do feel safe and okay. You're gonna pivot on your feet up and to the left. Come into that wide-legged star pose. Yep, beautiful. Turn your big toes in, yogis. And then you're gonna forward fold. This time we're in that wide-legged position, so should feel really nice. Yay! We're gonna do some side lunges here. Bend your left knee, okay? So towards the back of your space, bend left knee, try to come onto your right heel. And then pull your hips up to the center, and then go over to the right. Bend your right knee. Sink the hips, and attempt to come onto your left heel, but don't worry if you can't get that low. Sometimes the knees just don't let you, and that's fine. Come up through the center one more time to each side. Bend your left knee. Come onto that right heel. Try to send the crown of your head up, chest opening. Good, and then switch. Bend the right knee, side lunge, straighten that left leg. Reach up through the crown of your head. Good, come back to that wide-legged forward fold just for a moment. Drop the head down, relax your shoulders. Awesome, and then you're gonna bend your knees and slowly roll your body up to standing. We're gonna hit warrior two before we finish up here. So turn the right toes forward, bend your right knee over your ankle. Get into that for a moment. And then for official warrior two, stretch your arms open like a letter T. Open the arms back so you're kind of like extending your wingspan there. Look at your right hand fingertip the whole time. Take a breath. Good, flip your right palm. You're gonna reverse your warrior. Keep your knee bent, reach your right arm up, 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 so far up that it starts to go back. Take one more breath. Kind of a hard pose to breathe in, I know. And then let that go. Circle your hands down to the floor. Step your left foot forward, and you're gonna forward fold. Relax your head. Inhale, half lift. Reach your chest forward. Fold again, exhale. Good, all the way up to standing on your inhale. Reach the arms up. You're gonna bring hands to heart center as you exhale. Drop the tailbone down. Reach up through the crown of your head. And I'm being extra specific just to give you some more sense into the body. Hopefully get you feeling your body more and more. Okay, let's do that again. This time we have to do it all on the other side. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exaggerate your length. Exhale, forward fold. Bend the knees on your way. Inhale, half lift. Feels like a cobra, but you look straight down at the floor. Exhale, fold. You're gonna step your left foot back. Stay on your fingertips. We're in a runner's lunge, right? I'm sure you've seen like the footage of a runner starting off. Reach forward to the crown of your head and your chest. So your head is just an extension of your spine. Trying to have a nice straight and also a strong neck to help it prevent any injury or any strain, because necks are just really sensitive. All right, yogis, lower your back knee down. Come up into a low lunge. Reach the arms high and fire up your glutes, because that's kind of what we got to do here in a low lunge since this left leg is working. Take one more inhale, little back bend. Good. As you exhale, plant your hands down. Step into plank. Take a full breath in. Good. Exhale, lower your body to the floor. It's called a little vinyasa that we go through here, right? As you see, we repeat it. Inhale, come up to cobra. And then exhale, up and back into down dog. Take your time to get there. There's no rush. I know we're moving and grooving now. Good. We're going to do three-legged dog. Extend your left leg up towards the ceiling. Take an inhale breath. Exhale as you step the left foot through your hands. This time we're going all the way up. High lunge. And then just note you can have your hands here on your hips or up. Whichever is working for you. And then as we hold this pose, we're trying to just stay with breath. Not force it, but breathe intentionally in and out through the nose. Remember, you want to bend into both knees. At least I like a bend in that back knee as well. You're on the tippy toes of the back foot. And it's like you're pushing the floor away with it. We're just here for one more breath. Longest breath of your life. Good, then you're gonna pivot up into the right like a star pose. Good with that? Yep, wide-legged forward fold. Plant the hands down. Turn your big toes in a little bit. Slight adjustment for the hamstrings there. And drop the crown of the head down. This time we're just gonna stay. And you're gonna take a few breaths. You can definitely bend your knees if you need. Makes it feel a little more awkward, definitely, but works the same way. Bent knees or straight legs. If you can, you're dropping the crown of your head down rather than your forehead, rather than your chin. You're dropping the crown of the head down. And opposite of that, you're lifting your tailbone up. Because when the crown of the head moves, the tailbone is usually moving right along with it in some way. Mostly in opposition because that's how our balance works. All right, good yogis, let's get out of this. Bend your knees a little bit and then come up into star pose again. Warrior two at the front of your mat. So turn left toes forward, bend that left knee deeply. Just sink there into the hips for a moment. Awesome, then stretch your arms out like a big letter T. Big wingspan, open across your collarbones. Try to open your collarbones even more than they already are. And then look at your left hand, this little rotation in the neck. Awesome, yogis. Flip your left palm, reverse the warrior. Keep your knee bent, and you're reaching the left hand so far up that it starts to go back. Stay there for one inhale. Exhale, let it go. Plant the hands down. Forward fold at the top of your mat. Step your right foot forward. Good. Take a moment there. All right, inhale, half lift. Reach your chest forward. Exhale, fold again. Stand up and reach up on your inhale. Exhale, hands to heart. All right, we made it through the bulk of that standing stuff. Let's balance for just a moment. Get a little standing pose into a deep hamstring stretch. Then we're gonna close it down, baby. We are gonna lay on our back and get our relax on. So please, let's start here. Standing on your right foot. Bring your left knee up, give it a little hug. And just breathe. Sometimes we hold it when we try to balance. Trying to actively keep the breath steady here. All right, we're gonna work this into Warrior 3, which is not super easy, but very doable. You're gonna place your hands on your hips, extend your left leg back, straighten it. Yep, straighten that left leg back, back, back. And then tip your head forward, chest forward like a seesaw. You know, how one end goes up, the other end goes down. Then you're gonna step your left foot back and down. We're coming into a pyramid pose. So as you land your left foot, drop the heel, yep. All 10 toes are facing forward. I'm trying to be really specific so that we know we're all in the same spot. In pyramid pose, your hips are facing forward. Both of those hip bones, you can probably see them and see where they're facing. All right, pyramid pose. So you don't want your legs too wide apart. Bring them closer together if they feel like you're really reaching. Place your hands on your hips. You're gonna tip forward. Like imagine you're folding your hips right over a rope and it's going straight into your hip crease. And then place your hands either on that front thigh and kind of bend your knee to stay where you are. Trust me, after just a few breaths, you're gonna really feel the hamstring light up and stretch. If you can, you're gonna bring your hands to the floor. Sometimes if you have that cushion or pillow, put that sucker right in front of you, even on your foot, and then you can place your hands there. That way they're a little higher up. Cushions are the greatest thing when you're doing yoga. I highly super recommend that you get one. I con everybody into getting one. I should really be a spokesperson. Why have I not arranged this? Why have I not arranged this? All right, yogis, you're gonna try to pull your outer right hip back. Okay, so it's like you're shimming your pelvis to the side. Breathe, then start to relax your head. All right, to get out of this, you're gonna come into a squat. Step your left foot forward, bend the knees, squat all the way down, but reach up through the crown of your head. Maintain that for just a moment. And then we're gonna try to be really strong about this. We're actually gonna try to come right into chair pose instead of standing. It's a little bit harder. So keep your knees bent as you come up chair pose. You can bring your hands into your heart center, breathe. Steady your hamstring muscles and your breathing. All right, and then stand up. Ooh, you're gonna stay on your left foot. And you're gonna bring your right knee up. You can hug the front of it real quick there. Gonna feel for balancing. Sometimes this will take you by surprise and be really super hard. Like it's mostly good for me. Honestly, it comes easier for me, but then I know if I'm having an off day when I just cannot balance. Sometimes it's the opposite. You know you're having an off day when you can balance because it's normally not in the cards. Oh, yoga, you're fun. All right, we're gonna hit warrior 3. Straighten the right leg back, 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 so far back that it starts to go up. Tip your head forward. Yep, staying kind of not parallel to the floor, but as if you're going there. Try to lengthen your whole body, that right leg especially. Good, and then land your right foot right there, back behind you. Make sure all 10 toes are facing forward, or all the toes that you do have. I've definitely had students that have less than 10 toes, so pardon me. Any toes you have, make sure they're all facing forward. Place your hands on your hips. Let both of the hip bones face forward, your iliums to be exact. And imagine there's that rope right at your hip crease, right here at the top of the pelvis. You're gonna lean over that. Let that left hip draw back, lean over, lean over, lean over. And then bring your hands to wherever you comfortably can. The thigh/knee is fine. You can also bend your knee a little bit, especially since we're holding this pose. Feel free to bend it. Or your hands can come to the floor. Okay, no matter where you are, we just try to relax down and in. Take a few breaths. You want to feel your stomach move when you breathe. You don't need to try to hold your abdominal muscles in. Like I said at the beginning, we like the opposite. So we like engaging the abdominals. And then we also want to try to teach ourselves how to relax the stomach, how to relax those muscles, because those muscles are on all the time anyways. They stabilize you, they keep you standing, they're always on, whether you know it. And so it's worth just bringing a little bit of attention to, am I going to be strong there now? Am I going to be relaxed there now? What's your intention? How is it that you want to feel? All right, yogis, we're going to come out of this. We're going to step that right foot forward. Oh, meeting the left foot. You're in a forward fold here. Let's do one last halfway lift. Inhale, reach your chest forward. Good. Exhale, come all the way down to the floor in a seat. Good. Again, you can always sit on a cushion. I'm going to extend the legs out for a wide-legged forward fold. If you have some nice slidey floor like this, like I have this kind of wood flooring, it's actually really old and it's actually real wood, strangely enough. The rest of the house is very nice. If you have some slidey nice floor like this, really, really cool to put on some socks, and then you can go wee and just kind of slide your legs out. You can also tuck your pants under your heels like I do. Just some suggestions for you to, I don't know, I think it feels better to have that rather than have it on a sticky mat or on the floor. That is not slidey. So yeah, you can do that if you want. And we're just gonna open the legs wide like this, kind of like a split. Bring the hands down in front of you. Let your head relax, even tuck your chin here. And then the whole time, you're gonna try to imagine bringing your rib cage to the floor. Rib cage towards the floor. If you can, bring the hands farther forward, making your stretch more intense. One more moment there. All right, and then you're gonna bring yourself all the way up. Come into a cross-legged seat. Let's actually sit exactly the same way. You're gonna cross your right shin over your left shin, flex the ankles. Make a little triangle shape here, right in your legs. So the shins are a little bit more parallel, not so in with the heels, right? We're kind of out with the heels. Try to make a nice little triangle shape here right between the legs. Scoot the hips back a little bit. Good. Awesome. Sit up nice and tall. You're going to place your left hand down right outside of your hip. Reach your right arm up and over. We did a little side bend earlier. So let's get another one here. Like I said, we've been doing some hip and shoulder stuff, but we'll do a little extra shoulder stuff here. Take one more breath in and out. Good, and then listen up. You're gonna come all the way back up. Bring your right arm down. As you do that, bring your right ear down your right shoulder. And then let your left hand float away from the floor. You should feel a nice stretch in the left side of your neck. Try to pull the shoulders down a tiny bit. And let that go. Come to the center, tuck your chin towards your chest. And then very lightly bring your fingertips to the back of your head. You can push the back of your head a bit, bringing your chin closer to the chest and getting a big stretch there in the back of the neck and the shoulders. A couple more breaths, or let's say one more breath. All right, and then let that go. Before we get out of this, bring your hands right behind your back. Interlace the grip if possible and stretch your arms down. If you can't interlace your grip, just place your hands on your back body somewhere back there. Try to squeeze the elbows together. No matter where your hands are, you should be able to do that. And then don't lift up through your chin. Bring it a little closer towards the throat and reach up through the crown of the head. All right, let that go. finally, you get to just fold over your legs here. Relax your rib cage down towards the floor. Bring your head down. So I said this at the beginning, but this is a good class where you can just pop in and even for 15 minutes, probably get a complete feeling in your body and hopefully an even amount between the shoulders and the hips. Even if you only got a few minutes, you know, you don't have to stay for the whole hour, but I'd love if you did because, oh, you're gonna feel good afterwards. Okay, let's come up and out of this. Plant your feet down. Yep, just like this, so your knees are bent, soles of the feet on the floor. Wrap your forearms around the shins, drop your head down like it's gonna go between your legs. Stay there just for a breath, in and out. Don't really have to do anything here. All right, then we'll switch. Cross the left shin over the right shin. Flex the ankles. Try to make a triangle here, right? Not a little tiny one, but a big triangle. A nice clean triangle right here. That usually means sit bones back, shins forward. All right, place your right hand directly outside of your hip. Left arm up and over, a side stretch. It's a side stretch, but this is also a shoulder stretch, a neck situation. It can be a lot of things. Definitely mainly a side stretch, you know, that's the most obvious. Just let your head hang. And you're gonna feel how that switches in a moment. So come all the way back up. Bring your left arm down, your left ear down towards your left shoulder. And then let your right hand float away from the floor. You're ultimately trying to pull the right shoulder a little bit away from your right cheek, the right side of your jaw. Not too much, because just by letting that right arm be heavy, you're gonna feel a nice stretch anyways, without it like a kind of pulling of the arm down. Just be gentle here. Awesome. Okay, you're gonna bring your hands interlaced in front of your chest for this shoulder stretch this time. Flip your palms out and away from you and then elevate the arms all the way up. Like you're gonna push your ceiling away with your palms. Try to hug those two front ribs in. And just breathe. Pushing the ceiling away. Instead of letting the ribs poke out like that, you're kind of hugging them in as if you're avoiding the ribs from touching the front of your shirt. One more moment there. Try to lift up through the sides of the armpits. Lift, 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 lift. Awesome, and then let that go. Ooh, you should feel some fire in the neck and shoulders, which is the sign of life there. Bring your hands in front of your legs and fold. So now we get an outer hip stretch. Be nice and slow here. Don't force your breathing at all. Instead, just observe your breathing. See if it's any easier to breathe in and out through your nose now from when you started class. Trying to ease your rib cage down towards the floor, down towards your legs. All right, yogis, you're gonna come up and out of that, and then we get to lay down on our back for the rest of class. So go ahead and get comfy down there for these last few poses. All right, you're gonna start soles of the feet down on the ground. Let us move into a bridge pose here. Sorry about my earring falling out. I'm trying to fix that real quick. All right, bridge pose. Arms straight down by your sides. You can even grab the edges of your mat. Sometimes that feels just nice and secure. Push into your feet, lift your hips up. Try to tuck your tailbone under. So if you imagine your pelvis was a wheel, it's rolling back towards you. You can observe your breathing here because you can actually see it. You can see your stomach and your ribs moving. All right, lower your hips all the way down to the floor. And then set your right ankle on your left knee. Figure 4 pose, so you can see that kind of number 4 in your legs. Yeah, bring your right fingertips to your right thigh. Bring them kind of down towards the hip. Gently push the thigh away from you. Just increasing the external rotation on your thigh. All right, and then stay there if you want, yogis. Or second option, you can hug behind your left thigh with your hands. Do your best to not force your breathing whatsoever. Just observe it, let it happen. Try to be aware of it. All right, take your left foot down to the floor and stretch your right leg up towards the ceiling. Interlace your hands behind your thigh. We return to this intense hamstring stretch. Hamstrings are just part of the hips, right? It's just like part of the back of the hips more intricately, but I would definitely consider them like a part of your hips. Flex your ankle, slide the hands up your leg. Try to gently ease your low back down against the floor. And then lift your head and shoulders up. If you can't do it, that's fine. But this is going to help you get a little more flexible here. Lift the head up, lift the head up. Maybe your forehead gets close to the leg. All right, you're going to let that go. Come into a half happy baby. So grab the outer edge of your right foot. Bend your right knee out, 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 and down to the side. Let your left knee just hang out to the side. Just easy breathing there. Beautiful. Bring your right knee into your chest. Give it a bit of a squeeze. And then you're going to straighten your left leg all the way down the floor. Okay, here's a big twist for you. Take your knee over to the left using your left hand. Oh, might get a little crack out of your back there. Reach your right arm out like a big wing. And don't force yourself into this twist. Just be here, all sprawled out. All right, we must do all that on the other side. So you're going to come back through the center. Set the sole of your right foot down and get your left ankle on your right knee. Figure 4 pose. Press the left thigh away from you. Bring the hand closer to the hip rather than closer to your knee. That should save you any icky feelings there. Close your eyes if you want to. You might be feeling a little tie-tie now. It's okay, we're gonna have some music soon to wake you up. All right, if you want, you can go to the second option in figure 4. Hands hug behind your thigh as you keep that left knee pushing away from you. Try to relax your neck and shoulders. So even though we're not really doing anything for the neck and shoulders right now, you're being aware of that area. Try not to hold unnecessary tension there. Beautiful yogis, yogins, and yogettes. Set your right foot down. Stretch your left leg up towards the ceiling. Interlace your hands behind your thigh. Stretch out that hammy. Maybe you can slide your hands up your leg a little bit. We've gotten into the hamstrings quite a bit, so sometimes you can see the tiniest bit of progress, even just with one class, like tiny, tiny bit of progress, but you can tell like, oh, okay, I can tell I stretched. It's not as tight. In this last few breaths, you can lift your head and shoulders up. Imagine that you're bringing your forehead towards your leg, but you definitely don't actually have to do that. Awesome, let this go. Half happy baby. Bend the left knee out to the side. Grab the outer edge of the foot. Let your right knee just relax out and down. kind of like a butterfly and a half baby going on at the same time. Try to relax your neck and shoulders. And then we'll move into the twist. Bend your left knee to your chest, straighten your right leg down. It's hard to keep tracks of lefts and rights in yoga, I know, but it's unnecessary. Unnecessary. Let's take that twist. Draw your knee over to the right side. Maybe a crack comes out, and reach your left arm out like a wing. Observe your breath rather than force it. Don't crank your body into the twist. Just let your body lay here. Beautiful. Come back through the center. We're going to do a full happy baby. Grab the outer edges of both feet or your ankles. Open the feet as wide as your knees. Try to pull the feet down and relax your neck. Take a big full breath. Fill your ribs, fill your belly. Hold it at the top. And then let it all go. You can relax out of the pose. Bring your feet to the floor. Rest your knees together and just return your hands to where they were exactly when we started, on your stomach or your ribs. For this moment that we're not really doing anything and we're just being, can you feel the sensation of your whole body? Notice how your breathing is saturating your whole body. And if you want to, you can stay like that for a few moments, just kind of meditating on sensation and being present physically. All right, if you're ready to get up and get grooving on to the next thing we have, or the next thing that you have to go do if you have something else, let's just go ahead and roll over. Roll to your right side in a fetal position, or just like you're laying in your bed, cuddling up with a pillow. Beautiful. And then push yourself all the way up into a seat. I have to rub the eyes to wake up. But we are done, friends. Thank you so much for coming to my living room and joining me for Hatha Mood once again, or welcome if you haven't been before. Again, I'm Ali G. You can find me on hathamood.com or AlienJG Instagram. So yeah, I will see you guys next time. Can't wait to be dancing with ya. I'll see you in the chat, okay? Definitely join us in the chat. Yeah, all right. Thank you. See you later.